and I'm lucky to chair this committee because the people that are on the committee are really interested in trying to advocate as best as possible for all of the changes that we need to see, but that impact young people and listen to young people as well. So I'm going to move on to Holly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Chair. And thank all of you so much for visiting today and for sharing the results of your research. And we're called the Children's Committee, but it's quite rare that we actually engage with children. So this means we always kind of talk about children, but we don't talk with children. So I think it's just really important that you're with us, and you really can help us understand why it's important that your voices are heard at this committee, because all I've heard is common sense, and we don't always hear that on this committee.
Very true.
So I have to say, yeah, I was really impressed with all the work that you did and the results of your research. Last year, in advance of the Cork County Development Plan, I did a consultation with primary schools in my constituency in Cork South West, and I was really blown away by their recommendations and their really sensible solutions to so many issues, and they talked about many of the same things that came up through your research today. I don't think that you should actually have to be asking to be able to walk and cycle safely to school, and I can completely understand why it's incredibly frustrating to be campaigning for it for years and not seeing any results. I think we do know that feeling. It's exhausting. I have some questions for whoever would like to answer. So Zena and Boris and Diana, your presentation on active travel was really useful. Students in Cork have also asked for safe routes so they can walk and cycle to school with their friends, and at the moment, am I right in thinking that there are a few cycle lanes in Carlow, but they're disconnected? And you also suggested really practical solutions like using the wide footpaths, but could you just tell us a bit more about that idea? And if it's okay, Chair, I have another question after that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, about the wide footpaths, some of the footpaths are very slim, and sadly those can't be turned into dual footpaths. But there are a good few ones that are quite wide that we could use to split in half for pedestrians and cyclists, as that would be more safety, and it's on a curb, so the cyclists don't have to be right beside the trucks and cars. Another thing about the cycle lanes ending abruptly, I think that's a huge issue. I think the new protected bike lanes are a great addition, but it's very frustrating how they end very abruptly at the roundabouts, which is the most dangerous point, and I think that's something that could be worked on. I think I was in another county, and it wasn't even protected, but it had a spot for cyclists, and that was a really great thing, and I think that's something, it's just a bit of pain to show this is where the cyclists are, so I think it's a very simple and easy fix.
Solution, yeah. Dulce and Rachel, you spoke about the importance of having more art in the streets. I think art can really help brighten a place up and make it feel more welcoming, and I was delighted to see that you had some examples from Cork. I know in Skibbereen, as part of the Arts Festival, we hire an artist to do murals to just make the town kind of more lively and colourful, and I have to say I love the Waterford walls. They're really famous now for being so amazing. I'm just wondering if you've identified walls and other spaces that could be used for public art in Carlow, and do you have any suggestions for the type of paintings that you'd like to see?
I think the type of paintings that would just be like, it could be cultural, like it could be about famous people from Carlow, like Saoirse Ronan, for example, or I don't know. But there's like loads and loads of walls that are blank. Like even if they have windows on them, you can paint around the windows. And there's a wall. It's like it's kind of like opposite Fairgreen. I don't really know how to explain where it is, but they put up like tacky fake windows, and instead of doing that, they could have painted on the walls. But instead, they chose to put up windows with like fake dogs in them, which is it's kind of funny, but it's not the most pleasant thing.
Can I ask one final question, just for anyone who wanted to answer it? I'm just wondering what your favourite part of doing the project was.
Kind of getting to go to school when nobody else is there, and getting to work on something that we're passionate about with our friends.
Great.
Coming here and with all my friends, because I never thought I'd actually do that, but it's really an honor to be here and to meet everybody like this, especially because a few years ago COVID came, and it's really an honor to be here.
lovely to have you here.
I'm doing this project with my friends. I'm enjoying everything what we did together, and coming here is very exciting because I've been waiting for this day for a long time now, and coming here is just exciting.
I really enjoyed it because, especially in the last couple of weeks when we got to go back to school, because I graduated, me and a couple of classmates, since we were a mixed class, graduated in June. So it's really nice to see some of our classmates and work on a project that we did in last year.
I think getting to come in and do research and also do not just from a computer but also like walking around the town and cycling around the town and all that kind of stuff, and then being able to come up here and also getting to see, like Dulcie said, after they graduated, getting to see our old classmates, because we haven't seen any of them since June, so it is really fun.
For me, I would personally say we've been working on this since, like, we did some work at even in the end of 4th class and for them the end of 5th class. And finally being able to get to a point where we are heard and in the visual, well, yes, we talked to multiple people. It wasn't really the same because we're only talking to a few of the TDs, and sorry, I don't know what other things are called. But being able to finally get to a point where we can voice our opinions, I guess, on this.
Go ahead, Diana. Yeah.
This goes back to a few like questions before about like how the bike lanes came to an abrupt stop at like some roundabouts. I remember we went we were cycling and we went to a roundabout, and it was really dangerous due to all the cars coming in. So I think like we should protect it. Like we should protect them maybe a bit, so like the cars aren't so close to the people, so like we don't like crash and no one gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see. Go ahead, because I can't see your first name from here.
This is for Patrick's question. This is about, so I have thought of these two ideas of Carlow Street. So like one side that there's a path, and then there's just car parking spaces, and then there's just a very narrow road for 2 cars to pass. The problem is just the one that's like close to the path where everyone just walks in and there's like no cars there at all. It's just like they overtake and they like almost like are like really close to us, and we don't really have that much space. And there's this path around the courthouse where it's just too narrow, and even if there's a mum coming with like buggy and something like that, and then we have to go onto the road with 32 children on the road to get past them to get back on the path.
Okay, thanks, Lily. Your name was pointed out to me there. I couldn't see it, but
Can I just finally say again, just big well done to all of you.
Yeah.
It's so great to have you here, and fair play to your teachers as well.
Yeah.
Thanks a million.
And I agree with Holly's point. I think we probably all do about the common sense. I often find myself saying that in the Dáil, that there's a lack of common sense, and all your suggestions have been so good. And we'll go to our last questioner, Tom.